minor second, right? And what comes after that?
Major second.
Okay, what comes after that?
A minor third.
Which is how many half steps?
It's 4, 3.
And what comes after the minor third?
Major third.
How many half steps?
4.
And what comes after that?
4.
Perfect fourth. What comes after that?
Tritone.
Tritone. And what does a tritone do to the octave?
Cuts it in half.
Cuts it in half. So it's how many half steps is a tritone? 6, right? And what comes after the tritone? Perfect fifth. What comes after that? Minor 6. What comes after that? Major 6. What comes after that? What comes after that? What comes after that? What comes after that?
Oh, no, that is
That is
flat.
Flat 9 or
A minor ninth, right? Minor ninth. We'll just call it a minor ninth.
Yeah.
And what comes after the minor ninth?
Major ninth.
Good. What comes after the major ninth?
10th.
What kind
But
of
it's a
tenth?
flat, right?
Minor tenth.
Minor 10th.
Minor tenth.
Yeah, minor
10th. What comes after the minor
10th.
tenth?
Major 10th.
Major tenth. What comes after the major tenth?
11.
Not minor.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect 11. Same as the perfect fourth, just an octave up. What comes after the perfect 11?
Perfect. 12.
Minor 12.
Minor.
The augmented 11,
Oh,
which you hear all the time, which is your Lydian mode. What comes after the augmented 11? The perfect 12. Perfect 12. Perfect.
Perfect.
And what comes after the perfect 12?
Flat.
Flat 13 or minor 13? What comes after that? Major 13, okay. So that's where we stop at the moment, okay?
Not good at what's after
Comes
that.
after
Not
that.
good after the octave.
After that, you got the 14th and more.
What type of 14?
You know what? You have to leave now.
No. That was the line. Cross the line.
Yeah, you crossed the line. So, okay, so these intervals are the building blocks of which we improvise with. So you must know them. Why do you have to know them?
So that you can improvise.
Why? What happens if you know them? Then you can what?
Listen.
You can hear them. You gotta hear them. If you don't hear them, then you can't play them. You could play them, but you don't hear them. So you want to hear the intervals before you play them, or at the same time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just play with a few intervals. Okay, so the first thing we're going to take perfect fifth. We'll start on G to D. Okay, we're going to take this perfect fifth and we're going to go up half steps. Okay, whole octave. up, and then we'll go down. Ready, go, going up. And go down, ready, go.
It's a useful technique for cellists.
Well, I'm glad. Now we're gonna go a little faster, okay? Ba, 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 ba. 1, 2, ready, go. Stop. Now go down. Okay, now we're gonna take this perfect fifth. We're gonna go pulse steps. We're gonna go pulse steps.
Full steps?
When you go pulse steps, you have what scale? Whole tone scale. How many whole tone scales are there?
One.
No, there's
Wrong.
There's three.
Wrong.
There was
How
three.
many are there?
Four?
How many whole tone
It's like two
scales?
or three.
2.
I thought there was 0, 1, 1, 2, and then 2, 3. Is
I
it
don't
only
even
0,
know
1,
what
1,
that
2?
means. There's 6 whole tones in a whole tone scale. And then there's 6 in the other one. And that's all there are. There are only 12.
Okay.
So if you start your whole tone scale on G, it's the same notes as starting on A. Or why is that? It's all the same. There's only 2. We're gonna do our. We're gonna take the perfect fifth up whole tones and down. Okay, so we're gonna do it slow. Ready, go. Stop, go down, ready, go. A little faster, da, 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 ready, go. Now go down. A little faster, da, 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 ready, go. Go down. Okay, beautiful. Now we're gonna take it up minor thirds. Good. Up minor thirds, nice and slow. So when you take it up minor thirds, you're outlining what kind of a 7th chord?
Fully diminished?
Huh?
Fully diminished?
What?
Fully diminished?
Yes, that's correct. Okay? So what we're doing is we're going through all the different ways you can divide the octave equally.
How many are there?
You tell me. You do.
What do you mean, how you divide?
How many different ways can you divide the octave into equal parts? You can divide it in half steps, right? Just
You can divide it
Oh,
we
it's
started,
halves, okay.
right? We started with half steps,
So that's
right?
3.
And then we divided it in whole steps, right?
Yeah.
Now we're gonna divide it in minor thirds.
Um,
Then we
Major
can divide it
thirds.
in what? Major thirds.
Perfect fourths.
And then what?
Fifths.
No, no.
no, right?
You can't divide the octave equal. You can divide the octave. Tritone.
Dead center,
Oh,
right? So if you
okay.
go
Oh,
forward-
yeah.
So there's only 5. Half steps, whole steps, minor thirds, major thirds. and a tritone.
So not perfect fourths.
Why is that important?
Well, because,
What do you think?
do you have an answer?
So you can practice. Way possible.
Well, that's good. I mean, yeah, you can practice it, but what does it do? In other words, what does the octave do?
It changes the brightness or
What does the octave do?
Implies
It creates
a
what?
total or center.
Huh?
Does it imply a total center?
Well, it creates.
It's like what the
order.
difference is
It
between-
creates order.
Oh, yeah.
It creates order.
C2, C3.
Octave creates order. When you divide the octave, that creates order. If you're improvising, you want to create order, generally speaking, instead of chaos. Okay? Sometimes you might want chaos, but then eventually you're going to turn it into order. So you can derive order from moving things in half steps. There's order there, right? I can move things in whole steps. Right? Order. I'm just making up order.
It's controlled chaos.
It's controlled chaos, right? Or I can go up minor thirds. Or I can go major thirds. Or I can go tritone. Right? So you have these.
Did you say you could do fourths too, or no?
You say
Because
what?
that doesn't, you can't do fourths because that doesn't divide the octave evenly.
You can do anything, but you can't do fourths in one octave.
Yeah, because that was.
Okay, so there's a book called Nicholas Slonimsky, Thesaurus of Scales and Melodic Patterns. Anybody ever heard that book? Well, this is the book that John Coltrane studied out of. It's called Nicholas Slonimsky. He was a conductor. Slonimsky. Nicholas Slonimsky, Thesaurus of Scales and Melodic Patterns. You can find it on the internet now. You can download it for free, probably. So, what this book does.
I'm feeling anxious to remember
What is
saying
it?
Opera on cello.
You're like doing like crazy vibrato or something.
Because I feel like I'm watching a movie. Stop
Sounds like a sounds like a tenor singing
it. It
naked.
sounds like some weird shit. So anyway. Okay, so what Slonimsky did is he was like a mathematician. He was a conductor. He wasn't a composer, but he liked music theory, obviously. So what he did is he wrote all the different ways you can divide 1 octave, 2 octaves, 3 octaves, 4 octaves, 5 octaves. Okay, and he made all the patterns that he could make.
Is that book like where turns are from?
What-
Not where turns are from, but I mean like, is that like the piece of literature that started people to like do a turn before they practice their scales? You know what I mean? Like instead of just doing that.
No, I don't think so.
So they
Because
could
it's
be
the
more
weirdest
unique.
book. And the thing about it is the terms that he came up with, nobody uses because they're too weird.
Okay, so
What are
I
they,
guess it's
like
not-
what? Give an
Like,
example of one of
It's
the
the
terms.
weirdest.
like the ultra interpolation.
That's
Is that
a real
like
one?
word?
Well, that's not a real one, but that's using the word that he uses. Right? He's got the extrapolation, interpolation, I don't know, so many different terms. Nobody uses his terms, okay? But the interesting thing is the concept, right? So what Coltrane did is, well, anyway, I don't know how he practiced that book, but the way I practiced the book is I would just randomly open it to any page. And then would just try to play the page.
I was gonna say, if it's rearranging and rephrasing, it makes sense that, like, you know, he's extrapolating stuff that he doesn't need to. He's rearranging his words.
Maybe it's even in here.
What's it called again?
Thesaurus?
Thesaurus of scales and melodic patterns.
So this didn't come out of a tradition, this was like a mathematician saying theoretically you could do this, what would it sound like?
Right. Right.
That's funny.
That, I mean, I don't know why he did that. I mean, I would never do that. It would probably took years.
He must have loved math.
He must have loved math, or math loved him.
Yeah.
So if I, just to see if I even have it in here, but anyways, not that important.
Don't.
Slonimsky.
It sounds
This
like
is,
Yeah.
this is
Cool,
your
where
dance
it
class,
is.
right? Is your dad
Okay,
teaching
here
this?
it is, okay?
It's right there. Who's teaching them? No, but
Jason.
actually, if I just, I thought
Okay,
Jason was
here it
2 years
is.
down.
Right? So here's the
Here's
table of contents, okay?
Tritone diagrams.
This is the table of contents. Like
how many pages were there?
hundreds of pages.
It's a really thick book.
But then,
It's like a good blank.
so here's,
Oh boy.
here's page 1.
Tritone progression.
Oh.
Next track, right? That's that, right? It's just dividing it into 2. Then he does whole step. Right? Then he does
Stop.
minor, right? I mean,
It's just like that.
right?
You just
So anyway.
over the hashtag.
Yeah. Okay, but this is not where we want to end right now. But I just want to explain, the concept is you divide the octave equally. So we just did half steps, and then we did whole steps. Now we're going to do minor thirds, okay? Now what happens? Okay, nice and slow. We'll start on G. One, two, three, down, ready, go. That's how we do it. Again, ready, go. Ready, go down. Yeah, now we do a little faster. Ready, go. Go down. Yeah, a little faster. Ready, go. Ready, down. Right. Now we do major thirds. Okay, nice and slow. Ready, go. And go down. Again, ready, go. And go down. Now we do the tritone.
But we didn't go faster.
Say what? Oh, you want to go faster? I'm sorry. Faster. 1, 2, ready, go. Down. Okay.
Great.
Back at the spot.
Tritone.
Is it like yoga?
Go up. A little faster. Ba, 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 ready, go. Go down. Faster. Da, ba, ready, go. Ready, go. Yeah. So,
That's
you know what I
really
mean?
sure.
So we just practiced that on G, but you want to practice that starting on every note. So let's say that I want to do an improvisation. I want to start off with everybody just playing perfect fifths, okay? So everybody's gonna play. I don't care which one you choose, or you can play more than one. But we're just gonna do like half notes, like perfect fifths. Wherever you want to play them, okay?
I'm not getting it. I don't even understand.
Well, we just did this with all the perfect fifths, so now you can play them anywhere.
Oh, so we just play the note of whatever fits on it.
You're gonna play a note and you're gonna play the perfect fifth away from it.
Either up or down.
Either up or down, and then you're gonna go do another one.
Okay, anywhere.
Anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere, okay? So every time you play two notes, it's a perfect fifth, and it's going up or down, okay? And they're all gonna be half notes, okay? Half note. Okay, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so now we're gonna do that
Is it Shasta 5?
when I point to you, you solo. But when you solo, you can only play perfect fifth. Okay?
Okay.
That's all you can do.
Can you play other rhythms or?
Any rhythm you
Any
want.
rhythm you want?
Perfect fifths.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, gotcha.
So we're starting out together, and then I will choose somebody.
And do we keep playing while that person solos?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll back up.
You're accompanying.
Okay.
What?
Is it just half note perfect fits for everybody else that isn't Sloan?
Everybody else for now is doing half notes. Then we'll change it, okay?
Okay.
But except for the soloist.
Yeah, right.
Right? You can be the first soloist.
Okay, great.
Okay. It'll cost you.
Good luck out
It's
there.
not free. Be the first, that's $100. Do you got the money?
No. Oh, I can take it from my dad.
No. Okay, here we go. So, you start the solo, but first we'll play 4 times, and then you start the solo.
Alright.
1, 2, ready, go.
He's
I
playing.
was
He's
This is
playing
pretty-
fifths, he's playing harmonic fifths.
What?
I want melodic fifths.
He's
So-
playing double stops.
I know he
Yeah.
is. Don't do that, that's too hip.
You want broken fifths?
I want broken fifths.
Oh,
Can't-
okay.
Can't be that hip.
Okay, I'll
You're
be
too
broken.
young. Only be hip when you get to a certain age.
Which is what age?
I don't know, because I'm not
Not
hip.
yet.
I like it though. It's really cool.
That's
That's
good.
really cool. But let's do it the other way.
Okay.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah. Right, stuff like that. Again, we're gonna give him one more chance, okay, because I wasn't clear. 1, 2, ready, go.
In the garden, not from the garden.
Right.
It's close.
Yeah, that's great, though.
That was so good.
That was a fun time.
That was actually really good, yeah.
Just speaking as a listener, that was so.
It was like a three.
You were live streaming that, right?
We were doing
Yeah,
six. I was
absolutely.
doing like one and
That
I
was
was like, yeah.
Well, so what did you learn from doing that?
You can do a lot without melody, or without much melody.
What?
You can do a lot without melody or without much melody.
Yeah, well, that's a melody.
It's not the way I usually.
Yeah, a melody is
That's just a scale though.
No, really, it's,
What else did you learn?
Listening.
Listening.
Like we ebbed and flowed, like it started off very smooth legato, and then definitely the articulation changed, but I think you introduced a different type of articulation, and that kind of spread throughout the group.
You did,
Yeah.
you did.
infectious,
Yeah.
contagious.
What else did anybody learn?
You can do a lot with expression, even if you don't really know where you fit within the tonality necessarily, what anybody else is gonna do, you can still kind of like.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, there's only 12 notes, and none of them are wrong. So it's all how you present them. Right? It's not about right or wrong, it's all about presentation. How do you do it, you know?
I feel like a lot of the times I'm like scared to sound obnoxious or like annoying if I play like the same motif over and over again. But like I can also just like change the volume and the way that I bow it as well. So
Yes,
like
you can.
I can't be like against, I can't always do something new. So like that helped me to feel a little bit more comfortable, a little less anxious about having to change something like all the time, because like I feel like you guys helped me with that by like just keeping things changing reasonably often, so that like I didn't have to feel wrong about like just sticking on something for a while because nothing's coming to me right now or something like that. So
Well,
having
actually,
like
it's
a chill
important.
improv group is
It's
very
im-
helpful.
It's important that not everybody does the same thing at the same time, right? So part of playing in a group is not playing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's not just about playing, it's about not playing, right? Because when you don't play, you're creating another texture. And really, the more textures you create, the more interesting it is for everybody, including you. So, there are times when I just stop playing, like, in fact, there was this one concert, and it was recorded, and it was on a recording, and we played one of my compositions, and when I listened back to the recording, I never played on the whole song.
But you composed?
And I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know that I didn't play, It just,
you were just five.
You were in it.
I was in the vibe, man, and and it was, but that was a lesson, it was like, okay, I don't have to play, I mean, I could still, I could be in the music and not play.
Did John Cage come after you for like copyright infringement on that?
Well, I wrote the music, so I am the copyright, but it was just weird when I listened to it and I realized, wait a second, I didn't play,
You were one.
how bizarre, no wonder I sounded good.
How long?
You made no mistakes.
No wonder I sounded so good, I didn't play.
How long was that song? Where you just?
It was about 8 minutes. It was a long, it was a long piece, and then there was improvised parts, and then there was a melody at the end, and then I never played. This was totally weird.
And then I bowed and then went back.
But, well, that happens though.
Give it up for
You know,
Michael.
and, I mean, the more comfortable you are with yourself, the more you don't have to play.
Be more
Because,
comfortable with silence, I guess.
yeah, because you're
Yeah,
listening.
you listen.
Right? The most important thing is that you're listening. It's not that you're playing, it's that you're listening. Because when you listen, you're out of yourself. Right? When you're just listening to yourself, you're not really absorbing everybody else. Right? So you have to go beyond what you're doing and hear what everybody else is doing. And at that moment, when you hear everybody else, then you're kind of free. Because you're in the music. It's not your music. It's not your music. It's
Your
just
music's not your music.
No, it's not. It's just music.
It's an amalgamation of all of the other people's music that you like.
Yeah, all the
Oh,
time.
it's everybody's music.
And those people's music is an amalgamation of what all the people that played before them,
Well, absolutely.
what they liked of those people.
Yeah, so you know, it's like this big bowl. It's like a fish bowl, and we're all like, we're in it.
It's like a big ball of music.
Yeah.
Great analogy.
You should write that down.
Yeah,
man.
a big ball of
That'll be
music.
A big ball of
All
music.
of music.
Well,
That could be the name of a band.
Yeah, big ball of music.
Big ball.
Dog, you're on the way for the first title song to be.
Big ball of swingers.
Big ball.
Big ball in the first.
And the
First
swingers.
song is Deep Deep.
Yeah.
It's a song.
I don't know.
He wrote the
That's a
song,
good idea
just
for
like
next
this.
time.
Yeah, just calling the song.
I named my song
It's
Deep
okay.
Well, you can have that name.
But it's D apostrophe S D apostrophe.
Oh.